You don't need like 12 different highlighters. You don't need all of this stationery and huge pencil cases. You know, I eventually just realized that the time that I was spending writing down stuff, I could have spent going over the material like 3 times. So it wasn't productive, it wasn't efficient. So I've been seeing a lot of these productivity gurus and like stationery gods on my recommended from YouTube, because you know it's like back to school season, and you know what, I love stationery. I'm sure we've all been there. You know, we have the intention of making the most productive study session and all of these cute notes, but then you know it's like 3 days for the exam and we don't have time to write the whole thing and on top of that study. You know, I eventually just realized that the time that I was spending writing down stuff, I could have spent going over the material like 3 times. So we love efficiency in this channel. Over the years, I've streamlined my pencil case setup so much. Like I still own several different pencil cases at home, but my everyday carry, my everyday pencil case, it's super simple. I only have 5 things. And yes, I only ever carry these 5 things. That's really all that I need. And I'm sure that if you're like me and you also don't like spending all of this time making notes and you would rather spend that time actually studying, then this is the perfect minimalist setup for you. My first item is my pencil case, and yes, that is actually my first item. It's not even something that goes in it. This is so small and so thin, like, do you see how thin that is? There's not a lot of room to carry stuff, and that's why this is one of the most important items, because if you have a small pencil case, you won't be tempted to fill it that much, because actually you can't even be tempted, you just can't fill it up. So, you know, you carry a small container, you're gonna be forced to only carry your essentials. It makes sense, right? It has the brand engraved and it's made from recycled materials. So honestly, I just bought it because I thought it looked super cool and it was really simple, really minimal, but super functional. And so you basically just open this elastic and that's it. Like it's nothing fancy. It's so simple, it's amazing. I love this. All right, the second item, and this is honestly probably the most important one for me, and that is just a black gel pen. Yes, it needs to be black just because honestly, it just looks better than blue or any other color. It's just, it works for everything, it always looks good. And this is my favorite pen ever. It is the Pilot G-Tech C4. It's really thin. It's a 0.4 millimeter tip. The reason that it needs to be a gel pen and not a ballpoint pen is because ballpoint pens, like the strokes aren't perfect. You know, they sometimes miss some spots, and I used to find that so annoying. I would go back and fill out the patches that it left, and honestly, that is, well, apart from being annoying, it's just, it's a waste of time. And this basically just, it makes the perfect stroke every time and it dries really fast. I started using this and I never stopped. Look at that. It's super precise, it's amazing. And the reason why I love this is also because I not only like write notes, but I also like to draw. You can draw in your sketchbook, you can do really tiny details because it's such a tiny nib, and you can write on it. Writing looks beautiful in this. It really does. You know, drawings, they just look so good. You would know that I'm a designer because I'm just fangirling over a pen. If you just want to make things stand out, you can just write things a little bit bigger. You can write it in all caps. You can underline them. Honestly, you can do this without using 500 different colors. You just use black and it's gonna look good, I promise. And really, we could have just stopped here. This could have been a video of like 2 essential items for your everyday writing, drawing, anything. But, alright? But, I know, sometimes we might want to erase something, alright? that's just the way it is. Even though I'm a fan of doing everything in pen, sometimes we need that graphite. We need that erasable material. And so the next item, it's my mechanical pencil. And I have this Faber-Castell mechanical pencil that just looks so sleek. I really, really love this. And I usually carry B or 2B nibs. I don't know what you call them, like leads. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, usually we write in HB pencils or like number 2. And that's the standard one. But actually graphite can be a lot of different types. The softer it is, the more like charcoal it is. So it's really soft and it can be really dark, but also really messy. And then the harder it is, then it can be really light. But that also means that if you want to make like a darker stroke, you need to press harder. It's really hard to shade if you want to make any type of drawing. And if you want to erase, it's gonna leave marks on the paper. So that's why I don't use those. And that's why I prefer the softer ones. If you just want to write HB, it's totally fine. And the reason I carry a mechanical pencil and not just like a regular pencil is because you always just have this perfect sharp nib. So, you don't waste time sharpening it. You don't get like garbage from the pencil scraps from when you sharpen it. And you don't need to carry a pencil sharpener. So, if we had to carry a pencil sharpener, this would be as 6 things I carry in my pencil case. It's just, more practical. And we love practicality in this channel. All right. So obviously, the main reason we're carrying the mechanical pencil is because we can erase it. So what's gonna be number 4? It's gonna be an eraser. And actually, I'm gonna put number 4 and 5 together because I carry 2 erasers. And I know what you're thinking. This was supposed to be a minimal video and you're carrying 2 of the same? Hear me out. Alright, so I carry this sort of tube pencil-like rubber. And that's because it's really precise. So if I just want to erase like a letter or like a tiny detail on a drawing, this is the most convenient thing to use. And then I carry just a regular eraser. If I just need to erase like a bigger drawing or like a whole paragraph, this is a lot more convenient. And that's it. So as you can see, not a lot fits here. So I don't know how I'm supposed to show you this, but we can still fit like a couple more pencils maybe, but not a lot more, right? And so that was my minimal setup. That's really what I carry every day. I don't need anything else. I've been using this for years and it's more than enough. You don't need like 12 different highlighters. You don't need all of this stationery and huge pencil cases because, ultimately I would spend so much time stressing about, okay, now I need to change the pencil, I need to change colors. Maybe your notes are not gonna be a beautiful piece of art, but you're gonna be focused on what you need to write. You're gonna be focused on the content and not on the appearance. It's gonna save you time and energy because you're not spending all of that mental energy just deciding, I need to change the pencil. The bulk of the work, when you're actually in flow, you're writing, you're doing whatever, and you don't need to embellish it to be productive. And that's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying that if you make beautiful notes that you're not a productive person or that you're not efficient. I'm just saying that for anyone that is not inclined to do that kind of thing, there's a lot of pressure when you see all of these videos going around and you think that because you don't have these beautiful bullet journals, these beautiful notebooks, that maybe you're not being as productive as them and that you need to make that in order to actually be efficient, be productive, to learn better. And that's just not the reality for everyone. I realized that in the amount of time that I spent trying to write something that I didn't really care about that much, I could have read the material like 3 times, 5 times. So actually it wasn't productive, it wasn't efficient. And just printing stuff out and underlining, and that was enough. So, you know, if you love making beautiful notes, then more power to you. I wish I could do all of these spreads that are so beautiful. But to those of you who are more of a minimalist type of person like me, I hope this was helpful and that you'll learn that you don't need a lot of stationery, at least on your everyday carry. You know, you can have stuff at home. That's what I do. I hope this helped you and that you also start carrying just the essentials with you every day, and that helps you be more productive and more focused. So I think it's time for us to shut up and go work, draw, study, whatever you need to do. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!